Hi, I'm back once again, this time with a review of the new Weezer album. It's another self-titled, but we're just going to call it Gold for the purpose of this video, because that's what the color of the cover is. I don't think I need to explain who they are. Immensely popular since they came out in 1994 was their first album. I, like many people, have been listening to them since childhood. Probably since I was like 11, but I'm sure I've heard their songs much earlier on than that. I just didn't know. Their debut and their third album, the Green Album, are probably their most popular, but critically speaking, their like crowning achievement is Pinkerton from 1996, which is now 30. This is one of my favorite albums of all time, but a lot of their albums are, you know, not as good. I was going to say just as good, but that's not exactly true. But a lot of them are great. However, they have had a rocky career in this decade especially, and even the late 2010s. The Black Album was really boring. OK Computer was really good, but then they did like all the season stuff and it was fine. They had a hit song off that, but it's nothing special. They've just had a bit of a rocky career overall. Lots of highs, lots of lows. However, this new album is a bit of, not really a return to form, but a return to at least being good. However, this album is at least a return to them putting out some quality stuff since they last did like 5 years ago was their last full release. The first song, Say Yes, uh, starts off with this very odd tempo build-up. I've heard many songs build up, faster and faster over time, but this feels really erratic in a very interesting way. Like it starts off, you can hear the build up slowly, but then it kind of changes to a completely different speed, uh, just jumping up a bunch of points and then going back. And then you kind of feel like it's going to build more and more, but then eventually it just cuts off and goes right into the chorus where everything is all put together and very pristine. All the choruses here are very, shiny sounding. It's a pop rock album. These guys aren't like reinventing the wheel, they never have, but their choruses have always been great. The second track is Shine Again, which was the first teaser we got for this album. I actually think it's quite good. It's a lot heavier than most of the stuff that they've been doing the last few years. Last time we had something with this much volume to it, like Everything Will Be Alright in the End from 2014, so like 12 years ago. They've returned back to that sound. This whole album is live recorded. Same with Pinkerton was back in the 90s. They don't have this huge studio setup. I'm sure there is like a lot of production, like post-production for this record, but as a lot of the instruments stand, they were recorded on the spot, all together live. The next teaser we got is the fourth track, We Might As Well Be Strangers, which features the fairly niche band Wednesday. They deliver a great performance of their own on the track. I really love the singer's verse. Her voice complements Rivers so well. Funnily, it's like deeper than Rivers is, because somehow, even in his like 50s or 60s, whatever Rivers is in, he still sounds just like he did like 30 years ago. It had an accompanying music video, which isn't anything like very special. It's kind of just watching the people perform the song. I initially didn't enjoy the track much at all, but it's grown on me quite a lot since it first came out. It's not as loud as a lot of the other tracks, on this record, but it's very melodic. It sounds beautiful. But moving away from that song, we jump one track back to the third track, Don't Make It Weird, which starts off with a riff that made me laugh when I heard it because it sounds like something Nickelback would do. It was a big tonal shift from the other stuff. Like, the other instruments and the singing and the lyrics are pretty happy sounding all around. They're pretty standard writing. I also want to mention the track Hoops, where Rivers tells the story of a time he went to, I think, use a toaster. He had to scan a code of some kind to do it, QR code. I think that's just rich people problems because I have never seen such a device in my time. I think he's complaining about technology that he doesn't need to buy. You can buy a normal toaster. You don't have to buy the high-end ones just because you have so much money. I get the point he's trying to make about, like, technology being overcomplicated now, but still, I just found that to be pretty funny and, like, less relatable than he thinks it is. CEO kind of just sounds like a less enjoyable version of Undone, the sweater song from Blue. The same sort of talking verse kind of thing, and then a little bit of singing, and then huge chorus, that formula. But I don't think it's nearly as interesting sounding of a song. It's not as loud. Last thing I want to mention is the closing track, LA Sound. Obviously, they're a band from California. Maybe not obvious. Not sure if everyone knows that, but I would assume most people do. Uh, the song is kind of them literally saying that they're bringing back like the old sound they used to do where all the guitars were super overpowering. If you listen to like Only in Dreams or My Name is Jonas, you'll pretty much hear what they're talking about. I think the song is pretty good, but I don't think that the sound is as like classic sounding as they would want it to be. It's not like Everything Will Be Alright in the End, which I mentioned a couple minutes ago, where it just sounds like it came directly from that time. Beyond that, though, I don't have much to say about the other tracks. I would be repeating myself if I mentioned them because a couple of them follow the same formulas as the first half, which is not a bad thing. There's also not too much to talk about with the lyrics. But, I enjoyed this. I thought it was pretty good. It's not the best thing they've released this decade, but for waiting 5 years, it's not really a disappointment. It's pretty much exactly what I would have expected. Thinking like 7, probably 7. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Let me know. That's about it. See you.